Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Okay, I just want to welcome everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's ISE webinar. Today I have Price Headley with us. Price will be talking about identifying big trends in the markets using FX options. Price is the founder of Big Trends, so he really looks at the big picture. Price has been with us numerous times before, always gives us some great insights into the market. So again, Price, thanks again for joining us here at the ISE on ISE Tuesday webinar, or events on Tuesdays. Thank you so much.
Well, Steve, thank you, and thank everyone. I'm glad to be here, and sorry for my delay in getting in. I was having a little technological issue, but as traders, we adapt, right? So I'm thrilled to be here with you as always, and just basically really excited to talk about the FX options there at the ISE because, you know, it's really been a great tool for, you know, traders who want something that's going to trend very consistently. I'm a big believer in the consistent trends, and the more consistent these trends are, the better off you're going to be as a trend follower. And that's what, you know, ultimately we are at Big Trends, is we're focused on following these major trends and really riding them for the better moves. You know, so from my perspective, that's what these tools give you. So what I'm going to share with you today, everyone, is really more details about how you can technically trade these vehicles. I'm sure Steve's already mentioned to you a little bit about the different vehicles that are available to you. I mean, for example, the Australian dollar, which is the U.S. dollar traded against the Australian currency, the AUX, is the symbol. That one has been in a monster downtrend here that's been giving us confirmed bear signals since about the 20th of March. So it's really been a very, very consistent mover on the downside. And that's, as we're going to talk about, that's one of the reasons I love these vehicles, is that, you know, once it gave us that signal on the downside, actually on the 19th of March on AUX, it was a really great opportunity for trend trades playing the downside and looking for put options if you're a buyer of options, or you could do call credit spreads, or a number of different techniques. But first we're going to focus on what each of these vehicles really keys on. Of course, Steve's probably already mentioned with the U.S. dollar, all these are denoted U.S. dollar against these foreign currencies. So it's how is the dollar doing compared to these other currencies. So obviously if it's in a downtrend, that means the U.S. dollar is underperforming compared to the foreign currency, or vice versa. If the security is in an uptrend, like say if CDD is in an uptrend, that would mean that the U.S. dollar is outperforming the Canadian currency. So you've got to remember that it really is U.S. dollar relative on top. So whatever trend we're looking at is going to be how is the dollar doing against any of these. But what's amazing is you'll see some of these that are very trending and some of these that are very trading range. And so one of our key questions we've got to define as traders is the security we're trading in a trend, or is it in a range? And so we're going to focus on how you define that. Of course, as we've already probably been alluded to here, that ISE FX options are based on the U.S. dollar, so you've got to remember that that's listed first, and that's what the focus is. As Steve notes here, think of it as what a U.S. dollar is worth in whichever foreign currency term. So the dollar's outperforming, it's going to be worth more and more compared to each unit of that foreign currency, or vice versa. If the dollar is going down comparatively, then basically it's going to take more dollars to buy that same unit of currency if the dollar gets weaker. The beautiful thing about ISE FX options is that they can be traded directly through your equity brokerage account. So that's critical. I love keeping things all in one place. I don't like to have to jump around between a lot of different accounts, and so that's one of the things I think ISE did really well, was make it tie right into your existing equity and equity options brokerage account. So from this perspective, all the same strategies that you probably learned, whether it's simple call or put buying, or whether it's more complex or advanced spread strategies or combination strategies, can also be executed here in the ISE FX options. So, of course, they've got tremendous tools, including these Tuesday webinars, but also on their website, ise.com/FX. Encourage you to check that out. Lots of educational archives and background information. Some of the features of these ISE options, since options are really, all about how much volatility is priced in these, one of the things that I find is that the options on these exchange rates are relatively cheaply priced. And because of that, people don't expect as much movement, but you'll actually get some pretty tremendous moves. For example, the AUX has, from our sell signal that was confirmed back on March 19th, at 145.74 at the end of the day on the 19th. Now we're sitting at 128.98. So we've basically had about a 10% drop here just over the last month and a half. That's very meaningful because these options are not that expensive, and as a result, you see the strike prices not just trade in full $1 increments, but actually in $0.50 increments. So, the exercise feature, actually, you don't have to worry about exercise if you're doing short premium strategies or other strategies where you're selling an option. European exercise means you only worry about it what happens at the expiration date. You can't get exercise early in these options. That's a wonderful feature for those that have a long-term view and want to basically ride that view out. Also, of course, you're not going to get exercise into the currency itself. They're just going to be settled in cash or settled against you in cash if you're on the wrong side of it at the expiration day. And it is a noon settlement rather than the usual 4 p.m. end of day that most people are used to on option Fridays. We're looking at a noon settlement, noon Eastern time on Friday of expiration. And so the key idea here is that you've got the same kind of trading hours that you're used to in the conventional markets, 9:30 in the morning Eastern until 4:15 in the afternoon, and that you do have the constant bid-ask quotes that are always available throughout that trading day.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.